I think everybody's seeing it in the news right now, of this net migration or people fleeing these colder or high tax states and, getting out of these urban core areas. So, I mean, I guess you got out just in time, right?
Yeah, I think so. Especially with the first wave of COVID hitting so bad there as well. But yeah, I guess I was a little ahead of the curve. You were very ahead of the curve
Yeah.
at the time. But yeah, I'm thankful. The other thing to me, like one of my favorite parts to go back to the networking is the types of people that have moved. I mean, there's a few thousand people who have taken advantage of the Act 20. So it's almost its own little Silicon Valley of entrepreneurs. The difference is, these are entrepreneurs who've already made it. So there's a really, really interesting investment community here of entrepreneurs that have had enough success that it makes some sense for them to move their business here, and also enough of a sense of adventure to actually do it. I've talked to so many people that have been like, oh, I'd love to go to Puerto Rico, but I have, kids are in private school. I don't want to move, or my wife won't let me. And it's not everyone can do this. With that said, I know a lot of people who moved their entire families to Puerto Rico as well, and are extremely happy down here. You can live in a city like Condado, you can live in Dorado or Rio Mar and have sort of a golf course community at a high-end golf course community or an average golf course community. So there really is something for everyone. There's rainforests, there's great beaches, surfing. So it's got really something for everybody, except skiing. If you're an avid skier, you just gotta, have a vacation home somewhere else.
So, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, from all experiences, I mean, Puerto Rico does have a lot to offer there regards to climate, different schools, restaurants, culture, everything. Can you give us a high level and just maybe some of the tax benefits people could expect to move in there and why one would?
Sure. So, originally it was called Act 20 and Act 22. They've rolled all these laws under a new Act 60, but the taxes are basically similar. So, Act 20 is the business side of it. It's for export services, which is generally a pretty broad base of things that you do off island. It can range from consulting to marketing to fund administration. There's a majority of what you do offshore will count as export services, and that is taxed at 4%. There's a 4% corporate tax rate for that. And when you pass through your dividends to yourself personally, it is tax-free after that.
That's great.
So with that said, you do need to have one employee, which can be yourself. You do need to put yourself on payroll and take what they call market salary. So you do pay a few extra percent, but your total tax rate's likely 7-8%, depending on how things are structured. It's a pretty amazing benefit. You do need to be here 183 days a year to take advantage of the benefit. Otherwise it would be no different than being on the mainland, because you'd have to repatriate the money and pay tax in the US. But if you're a bona fide resident of Puerto Rico and you're here 183 days and pass the closer connection test, you're tax free, or you're at 4%. The second one is the Act 22, which is a personal exemption on short-term and long-term capital gains for Puerto Rico sourced income. That covers stocks and bonds and royalties or other, any other items you sell. The one thing it doesn't cover is real estate, because real estate taxes are sourced where the property is located. It can, in some cases, cover if you are running a fund and the carried interest from the fund, even if there is some real estate component. That is sort of it's a much more technical thing that you need to actually talk to a tax advisor about. But stocks, bonds, options. There's a lot of crypto traders that have moved down here, and there's a lot of full-time equities traders, swing traders, day traders that have moved down here to take advantage of those benefits. So there's a lot of smart people around me. I'm learning a bit about options trading now that I never bothered with before. But just given some of the tax benefits, it's actually been a fun little game to learn options trading.